Hey everyone, this is Donald the Repentless, and I want to try an experiment. I don't know if anybody has ever tried to do this before, and I don't think it really matters if anybody's tried to do this before. I'm not trying to steal somebody's ideal. If somebody has, I haven't really looked it up. But welcome to the first episode of Stream of Consciousness Bible Commentary, where I read the Bible and say whatever shit pops in my head. No script, no safety net, no editing, no fancy tools like putting the Bible verses down in the corner because I frankly don't know how to do that. This may work, this may go down in flames. So join me as I make a total fool of myself and have some fun with the Bible. Of course, it it's always best to begin at the beginning. So, this episode, I'm going to cover Genesis chapter 1. I don't know how far into it I'll get. I don't know how long I'll make this video. It'll be just this first video until I get bored and sign off. But, here we go. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The heaven singular. Really. Now, every big book, every story has a beginning. This ranks up there as a classic along with Once Upon a Time and It Was a Dark and Stormy Night. So a good beginning, it's a beginning like a beginning. And this is verse 2, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. Okay, where the hell did this water come from? It doesn't say anything about him creating it. So before the beginning, there was water, apparently. And somehow God's Spirit moved upon it, even though he doesn't have a physical body, as he exists in nothing and is made of nothing. And the whole thing about darkness was upon the face of course. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. Okay? So, verse 3, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. You do know what light is, right, people? Light is photons from a source like the sun or whatever, a light bulb. It is energy turned into photons. I may be wrong. Like I said, this is just stream of consciousness. Whatever comes to my mind, I say. But what was the source of this light? What was created in the photons? How could it be God? How could God create photons? He's nothing. He's made of nothing. He exists in nothing. Apparently, he's floating around in nothing that happens to have water in it. By the way, where did the freaking hydrogen come from? And where did the freaking oxygen come from for there to be water? I mean, like I said, the story just doesn't make sense. There's so many plot holes in just the first 3 verses. It's not even funny. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Now, we have no idea how big this freaking area was, because it doesn't even describe it as an area, it describes it as water. And how could God see? He doesn't have eyes. Literally, you don't need eyes if you're nothing. You don't need hands to feel if you're nothing. You get the idea. And how did he divide the light from the darkness? Was there an arbitrary space where he said, okay, this is where the light ends, and this is where the darkness begins? And God called, verse 5, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Okay, now, we don't even have a sense that time exists. let alone some arbitrary period of time called day, or an arbitrary period of time called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay, evening and morning has to do with the freaking rise and the setting of the freaking sun. If there's no sun to rise and set, how the fuck do you have an evening and a morning? Let alone a day. I mean, did second exist? I'm just like I said, stream of consciousness, this is what you get. Verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Now, most people would tend to think of this as being like ground, like mountains and yada, yada, yada. But I did actually look up the word firmament, and I'm not going to look it up again because there's no research, no fancy stuff like that. Excuse me. Firmament talks about something being pounded, like copper or whatever, being pounded into a disc. So that's the origin of the word. I can't remember what the Latin or whatever it is right now because, like I said, I'm not looking up anything. I'm just doing this one take to see if it works or if I fall in flames. But from that description, you can't say that the Earth is round because it's not describing round. It's describing a material being pounded into a disc. Verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament. Now, how the hell... Okay, first off, how did the water get under the firmament? He just freaking created it. Did he have a freaking layer? Did he put it in the middle of this water that somehow existed even though nothing else existed? You see, I don't know. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And it was so bullshit. Whoever I would like to think that whoever originally conceived not the text, but the story from which the text was made, was taking some damn good drugs. Because this is trippy and doesn't make sense to me. Verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven. Okay, so he called a flat disc. So you have at least two flat discs here. He called the firmament heaven. A flat disc. So there's one flat disc. And the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay, now we have 2 days without a sun to rise and set in order for there to be a day. And people think that I should take this story seriously? Come on. Verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven. Wait, what? Oh, okay, I read that already. Verse 9. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered. Isn't it all water? What the hell? I mean, I get that ancient people didn't understand what air was, the gases that make up the atmosphere. But like I said, what? Under one planet, okay. And let the dry land. No, wait. Okay, so he made a flat disk to divide the water. Now he made land. So he's putting freaking land on a pizza plate here. He's putting dirt on this plate, and he's putting some freaking water above it and water below it. And let the dry land, and it was so. Verse 10. And God called the dry land earth. By the way, where did God get this earth, this dirt to put on this piece of plate? I mean, he's talking about like just speaking things into existence. First, it doesn't happen in reality. I have seen no evidence anywhere that this happens in reality. And look, I read this story as a kid. Okay, I've lived with this story since I was a kid. Okay, and I don't think I've ever. Well, I have, but when you read it like this, verse by verse, just letting your thoughts just come out your mouth, really puts a different spin on it from my perspective. And okay, I'm still on verse 10, and the gathering together of, it is verse 10, it's called dry earth, and the gathering of together of the waters was called the sea. Weren't they gathered together before? What? Did he like disperse it and bring it back together so he could put it on this pizza plate with this dirt that he pulled out of his ass? And God said that it was good. Really? Okay. What was good about it? I mean, it's a thing. What makes it good? What makes it bad? And why the fuck should I care? Verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass. Well, we know what God was thinking, huh? The herb yielding seed. God created the earth so he could create weeds so he could high. Yeah! And the fruit trees yielding fruit after its kind. Now, okay, we know that like the bananas that you buy in the store are specifically cultivated and crossbred to be the most appealing shape and flavor. Most natural fruits are not ones we eat. If you just take a seed from an apple and stick it in the ground, it's not going to be edible. Okay? That's, when you hear the story of Johnny Appleseed, and he goes around planting all these apple trees, most of those trees were not the kind of apples that people would generally eat. So, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. So, here he is putting plants on dirt on a pizza plate without a sun and some kind of light that somehow creates some source somewhere creating photons. We don't even know which direction it was from this little pizza plate that God created out of whatever. Verse 12. And the earth brought forth grass. Yay, marijuana. And herb yielding seeds. Herb yielding seeds. Wow. After his kind. Okay, what? After his kind. Now plants, we know plants had to have gender. But the seed comes from the female plant, not the male plant. Whoever this frickin' person was, or people, or committee, or whatever, didn't know basic frickin' botany. And the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. Okay, seeds don't come from males in plants. And God saw that it was good. He likes to say things are good, but in a way that is just totally meaningless. Just completely meaningless. And the evening will burst 13. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Okay, once again we have a day, an evening and a morning without a rising and setting of a sun. Evening and morning are phases of the frickin' sun when viewed from the frickin' earth. Apparently, whoever wrote this didn't know that either. Verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament. Now, which firmament are you talking about? The pizza plates that you put the frickin' dirt and the grass and the water? Or the pizza plate that you put over the pizza plate where you put the dirt and the seeds and the water? To divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and long boring talks that make no fucking sense. So, with just a few words, we're supposed to believe that all of the billions of stars, galaxies, and planets just appeared with no thought whatsoever. Now, the fact that people have been using, the sun, the moon, and the stars for these things long before even the oral tradition of what would become the Genesis was a thing. It's not a remarkable proclamation, and it just doesn't make sense. Okay, I keep saying that, but like I said, stream of consciousness, aren't ya? Are you enjoying this so far? I mean, it's really fun doing this. I'm having way much fun. Yay me. This may be the most boring thing you've ever heard, but I'm having fun. And now let's see. Verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament, the pizza plate that's over the pizza plate with the dirt and seeds and the grass and the water of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Okay, why did he need to make light to give light upon the earth if light already existed? Now, I know what the text is getting at. This is where he created the sun and the moon and the stars, almost as an afterthought. The first thing he created was light, and then he created lights to be there. Like I said, it's almost like an afterthought to God. Let's move on to verse 16. I'm going to light a cigarette real quick. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven. He set them in the pizza plate above the other pizza plate with the dirt and the plants and the water to give light upon the earth, which apparently already had light because that was the first fucking thing God created. Verse 18. And to rule over the day. Oh, he hasn't even gotten to the sun or the moon. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. Now, I can go back here. How did he divide this? How did that work? He created this like nebulous light, and somehow with parts of this area that God had this. Parts of this area where the water was that God flew over and surfed on was dark and some of it was light. And with no rhyme or reason, right? Anyways, and lesser to rule the night. He made the stars. No, wait a minute. Didn't he already set the stars into the pizza plate above the other pizza plate with the dirt and the plants in the water? So what did he put in the pizza plate? I mean, what? Anyways, verse 17. And God set them in the. Oh, wait. Okay, I already read that part. Verse 18. And to rule over the day and over the night. Okay. Didn't he already say all this? Is the writer repeating himself? Why is the writer repeating himself? So divide the light from the darkness, and God saw that it was good. I don't think the authors of this text know what good is. I don't think that God knows what good is. I mean, if he sees if he's calling this mundane crap good, what the hell is extraordinary to him? And verse 19, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay, now we have a sun. For there to be a rising and setting of the sun. So, you really can't call this the fourth day. You don't have days or nights or evenings or whatever without a sun to mark them. So, everything up to this point, calling them days is horseshit. And how, I mean, hours were invented by man. Okay, a second is, as far, again, like I said, without going and looking it up, it was or is defined as the amount of time that it takes for a metronome to make one of these movements. That's a second. How did you have a second before such a thing as metronomes were created? Now, okay, that's okay. Verse 20. Now, I'm going to keep going until the end of the chapter because I am having just way too much fun. And then I'm going to do chapter 2 because I'm having fun with this. This is something I can see myself doing. Whether it becomes popular, fuck it. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, upon firmament of heaven. Now, okay, the word firmament talks about, like I said, I've been making fun of it with the term pizza plates. Fly above the earth in the open firmament. Open firmament? That's a contradiction of terms. A pizza plate is not an open thing. It's a flat disc. And verse 21. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God thought it was good. Okay, now of course he's going to make fish. Okay, well, he didn't, okay, there's already potatoes because he made the plants. God was making himself some munchies for the weed that he was smoking. Because, I mean, what better thing to have when you have the munchies than fish and chips? Verse 22. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. Okay, wouldn't that be on the earth? Are you telling them to bury themselves in the ground and multiply? Verse 23. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Technically the second day because the sun didn't exist until day freaking 4. Verse 24. And God said, Let the earth bring forth living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. So he made birds and fishes after making weed and grass and herbs and spices. Now he's making cow stuff. So, okay, yeah, God needs his burgers for his munchies when he smokes the weed that he created. Verse 25, and God made the beast of the earth after his kind. Okay, again, this story is repeating itself. And cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God that saw it was good. Okay, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, which is being nothing that exists in nothing, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea. Why? I don't get that. And over the fowl of the air, and the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth. Every creeping thing that creepeth. No, really. Every creeping thing that rolls upon the earth. No. Okay, verse 27. Oh, we're getting close. We are getting close to the end of this chapter, folks. So God created man in his own image. In his own image. In the image of God created him, male and female. Created he them. Okay. Huh? I mean, what was the writing on? Okay, I know that frickin' Dr. Seuss wasn't the frickin' thing then, but this would sound like he's trying to sound like Dr. Seuss before Dr. Seuss was born. Just saying. Verse 28, and God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Okay, think about that word for a second. Replenish would suggest that there was something there to be replaced. Because that's, if you get the point. The replenish the earth, it wasn't populated before that. It wasn't even a pizza plate with dirt on it. And subdue it. Oi. What? I just don't get this shit. And have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Now, okay. I know that Christians like to believe that God gave us dominion over the earth, that we're somehow separate from the animal kingdom. But the reality is that we are a part of the animal kingdom, like every other living thing upon this earth. And I really don't get this, mentality of wanting to control. Wouldn't it be better to just coexist and be a part of everything rather than dominating it? Anyways, verse 29, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth. Every tree in which is fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be meat. Okay. So, God gave man weed, and yet the moral Christian says that it's wrong to eat, to smoke the herb. Yeah, the herb that God gave us. Verse 30, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Okay, seriously, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. Okay, what about peppers? They didn't eat peppers? God didn't give them peppers to eat? And think about it this way, if they were supposed to be freaking vegetarians, why would the translated word be meat? It makes no sense, and it was so. The final verse of the chapter, verse 31, and God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Technically the third day, because there wasn't. What is it? Third day. Because there wasn't the sun before day 4. Well, this brings us to the end of chapter 1 and to the end of this little experiment in stream of consciousness commentary. If you got to the end of this, well done. Thank you. But, like I said, this is an experiment. I wanted to give it a try and see how it went. I think it went well. I happen to think it went well. It may not have gone well. I may have been a total idiot. I may have just come across as, well, it may not have went well from someone else's perspective. But be sure to leave your comments below. Give this video a like if you like it. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you don't like it and want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Share this on social media. And don't forget to subscribe for more repentless content. This is Donald the Repentless, signing off.